I'm about to log in on my new character. So, first of all, to anybody who is watching, uh, we are a couple of people who have decided to start streaming. And to that end, we have rolled new characters. We're going to go through the game all over again, talking about really fun story beats and all kinds of cool things, the different class quests that you can do, the different features that are available, the changes they've been making. So, let's get started. And the server that we play on always has a queue. The queues are not bad, not like they used to be. So one really cool thing about the way Final Fantasy 14 is that you get pulled into the story right away.
Here, feel. Here, feel, think.
You know who that is?
Yeah, that's me. uh, Now you can tell that I am playing a marauder. So this is one of the three friendly peddlers, and each starting zone has its own little intro movie, and basically it's the same thing. And your starter zone is determined by your class, not your race. So, since I chose to play a marauder, I am starting off in Limpsa Lamensa. This is always a fun choice to make. Some people, it doesn't really matter what you say, but it kind of reveals a little bit about your individual personality.
I did dot dot dot. I think I
Yeah.
offended him.
Nah, when you do that, he's just like, okay, no, you want to keep your, that's cool. That's cool. Let it
Yep.
be that way. Over all the different alts I have, I think I have chosen every single option. And pretty much all he does is he makes a one liner crack about whatever you said. And then it's like, yeah, by the way, you don't die.
Yep.
So yeah, now that we're not being attacked by pirates, so he's telling us a bit about, Limsa, what it's like, the fact that it's pretty much run by pirates. And pretty much everybody there is like, pretty independent.
On a windswept isle in the southwestern corner of the realm, amidst the roiling waves of the Rotano Sea, lies the maritime city-state of Limsa Lominsa. To this haven for bandits and brigands, cutthroats and curs, seekers of both freedom and fortune, comes a lone adventurer. Lone yet not alone, for the hero's arrival has drawn the gaze of the nation's patron deity, Lim Lane. What realm-shaking fate has she descried in the churning waters of this mortal's future?
They all say that. Become the kind of storied persons I can brag about having met.
Through peril and hardship, discovery and triumph, may the navigator guide this brave soul on her life's voyage. Till sea swallows all.
That is like the national saying in Lowe's. All. One thing in Final Fantasy XIV is it is pretty heavy with cutscenes, but they usually serve a purpose and they're really, really well done.
I concur on that one.
Yep. So right now you're kind of getting a view of Limpsa, a little bit about where you're going to be starting off, kind of looking around. They're so friendly. All the scum that washes up. That
No, they
is Roy
don't.
Gaydon.
Don't be going in there feeling all emo. You'll go complete suicide within about 20 minutes.
Yeah. Now this is definitely a rough and tumble town. This is a place that's like, yeah, we have a filter, we just don't use it.
You don't let your feel goods show.
Yeah. So, yeah, one thing you always have to do at the start is you have to pick your how your input's going to go, like you're using a mouse and keyboard or if you're using a controller. And then you get these little guides and all, which are fine when you're completely new, but when this is your 10th alt, like with me, it gets a little annoying. So you have to do this little introductory quest. It doesn't take very long, but until you do it, you can't really interact with anybody. You can't, send a whisper or receive one. You can't be in an FC. Uh, so everybody has to do these. They don't. It's literally takes a couple of like a minute or two. So yeah, you see, you come over here to this guy and you talk to him, and he sends you exactly where you need to go. Then you see the green check mark. That's the person you talk to stop to end the quest. It takes some time to get used to the way that they talk here.
Me too. Big
Yeah,
time.
yeah, you're sitting there and you're reading it and you're like, okay, I have to actually read this because
Exactly.
they talk kind of gangsta. This is a bit ghetto.
No lie.
Yeah, like in Gridania, it's all kind of Shakespearean and all that, and then Ul'dah, it's all kind of, business oriented. Over here, this is the ghetto.
I was actually surprised by that. Set this character up.
Yeah, it's like, yes, we might be able to speak English, but we're going to speak bad English.
I kept thinking, where's the button?
Eh. Yeah, but I mean, it is. It's at least the writing is consistent and the tone is consistent. So
Oh,
after
definitely.
once you get used to it, it's like yeah. And of course, they mentioned this group called the Warriors of Light. You know, and so of course you start off thinking, oh, I'm gonna have to work so long and hard to like become like one of them. And it's like just you wait.
For me, that's part of the fun.
Yeah. But one thing I like is that the way that Final Fantasy 14 starts you off is you know you're going to be somebody important. Whereas, like in World of Warcraft, it was like, oh, hello, welcome, Blood Elf number 5224. Please go and kill some bugs.
I can relate to that, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, that was. And even now in WoW, after, God, what, 20 years and how many expansions? Your
The grind.
character. Your character is not the central character. Yeah, your
Mm-mm.
character has been incidental in every world-altering event,
Nothing like
but
being ancillary.
no, it's more like you're friends with like the really important NPCs who are actually the heroes, and the game is their story. Whereas Final Fantasy 14 is always from the beginning, it's very much your story.
That's what I like about it.
Yeah, I mean yeah. This is the game that starts the minute you log in on your first character.
Hmm.
Whereas in World of Warcraft, the game doesn't really start until you get to the max level.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and I love how they layer all the story through all the expansions so that it's not just, oh yeah, now we've got this whole new area, and so we're going to do a crowd control quest to send you there, and maybe it's kind of connected to the rest of the game, and maybe it's not. You never know. Whereas this is like, no, it's consistent. They start laying down things like in A Realm Reborn and Heavensward that play out 2, 3 expansions down the road. So, no, they definitely had like a plan for how this was going to go.
I like the fact that they're building on the story that they've told you while you were learning this.
Yeah.
Although trying to remember who such and such was is sometimes a trick.
Yeah. Um, so I just finished the introductory quest.
That's when you go to Lorna and say, "Hey, to Lorna."
Yep. Okay, so yeah, real quick. If you see something that's got that funny looking quest thing and you're like, why is it all raggedy? That's a meteor. And that means that it's part of the main story quest. When you see them and they're just like this, that just means they're side quests. You don't need to do side quests in Final Fantasy XIV. But one thing you do need to do is you do need to learn how to adapt your HUD. And so this is the default one, the user interface, and it makes me just slightly crazy. So I am going to put up the be right back screen while I basically swap some files around. And I'll put a guide up on our website, scholarsofcharlian.com, one of these days, about how you can easily do that. So, like, once you have something set up on one character, let's say you want to start another character, you can copy your UI over. And it is allowed. You're not going to get in any trouble. Just don't use any add ons. So,